Media Rare and Uncut features the independent artist whose music is being played here on AMI Radio. I'm Casey. I'm your host this evening. We got Robert here as the engineer. Always give him major thanks. And tonight we have a special guest with us. Not only is he an independent artist, you are singer, songwriter, actor, model. You are a let's continue on and on, a stand-up comedian. You're a music producer, Shawn Roscoe.
How's it going?
Thanks for being with us. Thanks for coming into the studio. Man of many talents and yet so young.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. So, first of all, welcome. Thank you so much for being with us. You have so many songs already under your belt.
Oh, yeah.
And you've done all of it yourself pretty much. I mean, your studio is a home studio. You've created all of this from beginning to finish, mastering and everything, and moving on soon to new music videos.
Yeah.
So
that's the next.
Yeah.
That's one of the next steps. I'm actually working on, like, what's called script writing. You know, I'm actually blocking off scenes for music videos, and yeah.
So, Shawn, tell us a little bit about your history. Tell us a little bit about who is Shawn Roscoe and what kind of music do you play?
How I got started or how I got into it?
Let's talk about how you got into it.
How I got it? Oh, well, let's begin. All right, strap in. Well, you know, I heard NSYNC, and I thought it was amazing. I don't know what that was I was listening to on the radio. I just thought, holy crap, I love that. I love that sound, that dance beat, that music. And my mom was the one that introduced me to it. My dad was really into alternative music, and I just didn't like the guitars. I couldn't understand it, I think. And I thought, I really want to be in NSYNC. I want to be a singer. And I realized that wasn't going to happen because I was like 4 or however,
Sure.
you know. And then I was like, well, maybe I could, you know, be like an individual, like a solo act. And I didn't know if that was possible. And then I saw Britney Spears like a year later, and I was like, oh, I'll do what NSYNC does, but what she does without the other people. So I won't have to worry about fighting with other people. And I didn't want any form of creativity to be stifled. Right. But as a kid, I was just like, I had no idea how to even be creative. So I'm like,
so it's really interesting that those thoughts are going through your mind at such a young age.
Yeah, well, I don't mean, you know how you look at your parents and you hear them hating their jobs, and I'm like, well, I don't want to end up like that. But then I think I might destined to be like that. So
you've started. You've really thought about this since you were at a very young age, and have really formed and grown this into actually a business now.
Yeah.
You're in your early 20s, early to mid 20s. 24 years old.
I'm getting up there.
And you are, and you've taken this. You've taken this pretty far already, but you still have so far to go. Do you think that a lot of other people in the musical career, by the time they're 24, have started out at such a young age thinking, how can I do this? And building the career like you have?
I honestly, I don't know. How I started, I took stereo speakers apart because I was trying to figure out where the sound was coming from. I found it was magnets inside and wires and plastic. I have no idea how other people begin. Or I don't know.
Sure.
I was so focused on trying to figure out how do I even try to get into, how do I even start to record myself? And my grandmother had a tape recorder, and I started to record myself. Like I would start to do my own little play, and that's how I started to do voices on this little tape recorder. And then I started to figure out how to record and not get too close, not get too far. And
sure.
That was
It's actually pretty interesting. And now you have, so in a way, the way I've seen you is that you've documented your life.
Yeah, the YouTube show. Yeah.
And you do, but not even just with that, but also with your music, it's a documentation of your life.
Yeah, it is.
You keep
write what you know.
Absolutely. You're in very good order with how you handle your things, as I can see at this point. And I mean, that's just pretty wild. Did you study for this? Did you go to school for this, or are you self-taught?
Well, what did I do? I saw Janet Jackson in concert, and I thought, okay, it's sure that's what I want to do. And then as soon as I saw that, I immediately started to play the violin. Because naturally, once you figure out what you want to do for the rest of your life, you do something completely different.
Right.
And so I started to play the violin, and I started to, I don't know, like literally learn how to write and read music and understand the instruments before even singing. I knew the instruments first, and then I ended up with GarageBand and started to play and record myself that way. So I ended up becoming I was taught, music theory and whatnot, and then I just didn't like the rules of music theory, obviously necessary now, but I ended up with a
Didn't
GarageBand and
like the rules of
I didn't
music
like, I just felt like it
theory.
was a box, and then especially the classical, and I'm thinking everything's been done before, and so there were parts I couldn't play, so I figured I'll write my own songs and I'll play my own parts, and then that's when I really started to branch out, and then GarageBand came along in high school, and a teacher caught me, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, "I'm making a song," and she listened to it in class in front of everybody, and then she just looks at me, she goes, "You could really do this. You should really think about doing this," and ever since then I did.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's really great when people believe in you.
it,
And
yeah,
and somebody says, "I see this in you. I think that this is something that you should keep doing if you really love it." And so it's great to have that kind of mentorship and people who care.
yeah,
Not a lot of young ones today. Well, you see, there are a lot of people who just pass by somebody's talent
hmm,
or art and not actually, and children, the youth need recognition for their talents.
yeah.
Helps them grow and build. And so, however, did you say that it kind of came full circle for you with music theory, that now with what you're creating, that now you're like, okay, so,
Yeah, I ended up referring to scales, and I ended up
uh-huh,
referring to like, oh, what was that thing? And I bought Music Theory for Dummies,
uh-huh.
and oh, there must be like, I mean, I don't really make marks or anything, but there's got to be like a lot of folded corners of that book just to tell me what that CD is scratched.
Listen, it's amazing how you can actually self-teach yourself. You can do this for any
As if you
topic.
want it too. Like,
There's
there's,
no limit to actually how much a person can learn. You can learn as much as you choose to. So you can just
yeah,
keep on going. And it's really awesome. There are so many people, and I meet with a lot of artists who, in the music industry, did not begin with the technology that we have now. Well, it's always advancing and growing, and you've had your hand in it for so long.
yeah. I I definitely were. As soon as I started to write my own songs with the violin, I started to write my own lyrics, and then I started to rewrite poems, and then I started to realize that poems are songs, and then I started to kind of try and pluck the violin. I just didn't want to learn the guitar because I felt like there's too many strings. But that's kind of how I ended up with. I didn't really have tech. I had technology, but I didn't know how to really harness it and use
Okay,
it. You know,
okay.
but.
Now the violin, are you incorporating that into your?
Yeah, I one of my songs is called Strobe Lights. I wrote it because I operate lights at Bayside Community Church,
Mm-hmm.
and in that song Strobe Light, I just saw the strobe lights and I heard this loop, and I just realized I liked the synthesizer. It felt like the strobe lights I operate all the time, so I wrote that, and then I felt like that song was missing something, and I just felt like playing the violin on it. So
It worked.
that's the third song I've ever published worldwide with me playing the violin on it. The other songs are like edited into synthesizers because I didn't have a keyboard at the time,
Sure.
and so I just figured out how to sing and edit my voice and then my violin, and now
Tricky, tricky.
I think my friend calls it ghetto rigging. He's like, you're really good at
If it works, it works. I
I
know
yeah,
you're taking a couple of extra steps, but you use
yeah.
what you have.
So
Speaking of strobe lights, that's actually has been played at a big event.
yeah, it was played at the TED Talk or TED conference. TED
Okay,
Talk.
in Tampa.
Yeah, like the how did that happen? I was okay, so I was fired from my job at a call center, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go join the circus naturally, and so I joined the circus, and while I was in the middle of the ending of that album of that year, 2012, I was making remixes for the singles collection, and I remember this hula hoop girl. She's a contortionist, and I was a spotlight operator. That's why I worked in the circus. And she attracted other hula hoopists,
Mm-hmm.
performers. And this lady, girl, I forget her name, Cassie, I think. Yeah, Cassie's her name. She came to watch this the contortionist, Elena, and she said we got to talking. She said she was gonna have she was gonna perform at the tech conference. She said that they weren't letting her play the music that she was used to perform with. I said, well, I have music. You could use my music. And she's like, oh well, it's a really serious event. And I'm just like, okay, sure, whatever. I'm not like, you okay? That sounds cool. And so she goes, well, it's TED Talk. And then my friend Colt was with me. He just goes, what? And he goes, TED Talk. And I'm like, why are you yelling? And the song was like, I just finished it like 2 weeks before, and I was waiting
Hey.
till the January 1st to release it. And then she was like, I need help. And I was like, oh, you can take it. Do it.
It's pretty cool.
It was,
It's
yeah,
something that you can put on your resume. It's something,
yeah.
and that's awesome.
My dad was like, I think that's the first time I ever saw my dad go, what? Yeah.
The more you put it out there, we say trickle flow flood. If you put out a little, you get a little. If you put out a lot, you know when you get a flood. And the more you keep putting your music out there and putting it into different hands, the better. Once again, we're visiting this evening with Sir Shawn Roscoe.
I like that.
Can I call you sir?
That'd be a good stage name or alter ego.
For one of your characters, anyway.
Yeah.
Perhaps you could incorporate that at some point. But so with that being said, not only, okay, so solo artist, singer, songwriter, you're creating your own CDs, your music. You have a huge, you've got a huge online presence. People can actually purchase your music in a variety of ways. Check out all your YouTube videos. And what's your website?
I don't really have a website. It's like on Wix, and it's I'm really
Right now, your Facebook presence is huge,
my
though.
Facebook, yeah. What I'm website shopping. I'm looking for the best deal.
Pretty much, if you Google Shawn Roscoe, you're going to find him.
Like 15, 17 pages. It's growing every time.
Yeah.
Don't Google yourself ever, because you find people that just don't like you, that don't know you. There's that, and it's just like I'm not big enough.
Okay, truth be told, I think probably everybody has to Google themselves at least once. Everybody's done it, and I think it's only natural to but to watch it grow. But on the business side, it's actually very cool to see how your presence is growing, and to see what kind of attention you get. And so that's really important, especially as an independent artist like yourself. Take us through a couple more years of your life leading up to where you are now.
Let's see. In 2008. I started making my own songs, and I started making my own. I moved away from GarageBand, and I actually got like a Sony program, and then I got maybe like 9 more programs, because you don't stop with you get one. It's like a drug. You constantly keep raking. And so I actually entered in 2 of my original dance songs, techno dance, if you will, and I won like this online DJ competition, and that was really cool. I never went back. So the first time I was like up against like 3 other people, and then the second time I was up against like 15, and I won both times, and I just never went back, because I was like, oh, I don't lose it by, So then my album The Carnival came out in 2009, and that was a huge flop. It was terrible. And I remember my stuffed animals were looking at me like, you should never have done that. And they were like, what's your deal? Like, shut up, puppy. Don't tell me to shut up. No, and then I got like tired.
That sounds like Baby Jesus.
Yeah. This is Baby Jesus. No, anyways, while waiting to try and make it as an artist, I decided, my mom paid for me to go to McCurdy's Comedy Theater Institute to learn how to do stand-up.
Oh, very cool. Okay.
So it wasn't like a birthday. It was just kind of like, hey, you're really funny, and you need to harness that. And so I just started telling jokes about my family and how much I love sugar, and I guess, And that's not like Jim Gaffigan with his Hot Pockets, but this is, like me and my sweet tea. My skin's getting soft, my bones jut out, I'm getting a sweet tea hump. But no, then I just continued to write music, because as an artist, I think I didn't want to be like one of those people who waits. I don't know if there are these people. I just imagine these people in my head, the other voices. I just imagine, like, I don't want to wait to make it, and I feel like I already am what I want to be, so I kind of want to enjoy that. So I want to make music, and I want to try and write songs, and boy howdy, recording my own voice and on top of my own music was one of the hardest things to overcome. To like try and figure out how to use this mic and blend it into the computer, put it on a CD, give it to someone was the hardest thing. I had no problem doing straight to the computer and then, mixing an album, but No, and then I decided you know what, I needed a YouTube show because they wouldn't always let me perform and stand up, and then I couldn't find a platform to perform my music, so I decided to have a YouTube show where I practice stand up, and at the very end I'd talk about my song.
Hmm.
So that's just kind of like what I've been doing ever since 2011, or yeah, 2011, and
Wow.
I just talk about like I wanted a real reality show too, so that's what.
So with the training, with doing comedy thus far, what are you into your sixth year doing stand up,
Yeah,
something like this?
this is like
And
yeah.
so, what have you taken from what have you learned? What have you learned about yourself with the comedy side?
I am. How do I say this? I kind of always in a weird way, I always have the last laugh with myself. So I'll get nervous for like it doesn't matter what audition it's for, and I'll get nervous if it's a performance or if it's like I'm gonna record this song for somebody. Like I recorded a song for a website, and I was so nervous I couldn't think, and then finally I just stepped up and did it. So I think what I learned about myself is just there is no it's I don't know. It's like give them a show. Like
Hmm.
show them the dark side of not. I don't know, and then show
Sure.
them the actual like here's the result of an entertainer trying to be born into the world of it. I don't know if that makes
I
any
think
sense.
I use a phrase a lot of times. Once again, to the listeners, we're speaking with Shawn Roscoe on AMI Radio, Media Rare and Uncut. Want to thank you for being here.
No problem.
When one thing I learn for myself every day, when I think about when you say, being nervous about these, and I think even when you talk to some of the top celebrities in this country, they are the same way. They are still nervous. They are still, it's still there. That's a human feeling. But I still say always dying to ourselves, to that idea, like, why do I care? I'm being who I am. I'm
Hmm.
performing. I'm doing what I do best. And also I'm reminded that we're fully qualified. There's nothing that you don't already have inside of you, so you can actually do this. So it would be interesting to see as the years continue for you if that dwindles a little to where you're not as, But either way, I think everybody is, and I am. Now, I could be here at AMI Radio and I could be speaking to you, but if you put me on the stage at McCurdy's, I would probably choke.
I think everyone's lives they can talk about their lives. No,
And you can
everybody.
laugh at yourself. Like you
Yeah,
said, you have the last laugh.
I have to make fun of. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm jokingly serious. I was talking to a therapist, and I was like, "What should I make fun of?" He goes, "Yourself." I was just
Hmm.
like, "Oh,
And anything that people can relate to, and
yeah,
human, just a
crazy
human.
family
Yeah.
members."
Well, it always is a winner, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
Everybody has a family story. Okay, so take me in. That's like going through from '08 to '09, right? Your
Yeah,
comedy career.
yeah, that's
Okay, so what
2010.
happens next in your life?
I well after I did the YouTube thing, I'm doing it. I mom has this friend, her name is Gail. Hi Gail. She signed me up to audition for America's Got Talent.
Okay.
And I was a triple act. I played the violin, I sang, and I did a joke. I didn't sing, but I gave them a CD full of all sorts of crap I've done,
Mm-hmm.
just like demos and things that will never air. And they gave me a call back to come to New York City, and I just didn't have the money to do it. So I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, oh, but within that, watching other people, all these like other awesome creative, it was so inspiring to see like-minded individuals like really being around the same people with almost the same goal. Some want to be famous, some want to just be on TV, this is their craft and they have a message. And I just thought that was so cool to actually breathe the same air in the same spot, versus seeing these other people on the internet. Then oh, and then I ended up not making it because I didn't go to the audition. And I had my third album, Titus, which was again my third release, and it was again all wordless. And then I ended up making my most popular song, Schizophrenic Jester. And
Which we'll hear later on in the
that's
show.
yeah, that song, it was a complete fluke. I was sitting in my bedroom on spring break, and I was just kind of like I just thought about all the people that said, you're crazy or you're too funny or something, and I just thought, what would describe me? Like, what would describe me? And then I just thought, I'm a schizophrenic. I'm not, but and then I'm like a clown. Like, what's cooler than a clown? Like a jester. And I put the two, and then the song came out,
It
and then
works.
I got crap from like moms on the internet, like my son has schizophrenia. I'm like, I don't really know what that is. I'm just saying. And you know, they say write what you know. Well, I didn't really.
You
So,
know, one thing that I am also, I don't know why a lot of things you're saying is reminding me of something, but um, uh, if somebody tells you when people and when everybody's telling you one thing, you know to do exactly the opposite. If everybody's telling you that's never going to work, or I wouldn't do that, Robert always says I wouldn't do that if I were you. You know, or there are a lot of people who give a lot of bad advice, but only you
yeah,
really know what you actually have the ability to
yeah,
do.
that's
And you
yeah,
know, so the fact that you didn't listen, and you can't let those things penetrate you also. Just you have to keep on going because you actually know for a fact what you're capable of. You know what your talents are. And you've already come a long way.
yeah. The what really hit the nail on the head was this. What month was it? I don't remember the month, but it was I auditioned for American Idol in Atlanta. My friend, she won this
Was
Dis.
that this year?
Yeah.
Oh my.
And my friend Ariel, hi Ariel, she won. She went to Disney World and she won. You know, she beat everybody the whole day, and so she got the head of the line pass. And she's like, "Why don't you come with me?" And I was like, "Yeah, cool." And she's like, "Well, my boyfriend wants to come." I was like, "Oh, okay." And she goes, "Well, if you audition, then he can get in." I'm like, "I get what you're driving at. You know, you're using me." And so I went and I waited 11 hours 'cause I thought, well, I'm here anyways. I took the time to, you know, not have a job to get here. And I auditioned, and they gave me great feedback. They were genuinely like all business, which is nice because you meet so many people that are like, "Oh, if you only had," I'm like, just cut the crap and
Just
tell me
tell me what
what,
it is.
you know, like what should I work on, what should I not work on. And they were like, you have a great voice, you have fantastic presence. I love your style, I love your smile. You're not what we're looking for. And I'm like, well, Chris Allen and me, we know the same, you know, what? And yeah, Chris Allen's pastor is brothers with my pastor. So it's
Uh-huh.
like, what? Anyways, I don't know. But so after I didn't make it, while I was sitting in there waiting, I was nervous. I was probably not as nervous as I've ever been, but I was nervous for like a really long period of time, and I was just thinking this audition's gonna be terrible. And then I calmed down because I watched everybody else, and I thought to myself, in a negative way, I thought I can't do this. This is dumb. And then I thought, you know what? I'm no different than anyone else here. I can see that I'm, you know, just as good, if not. And then I auditioned, and you know, I didn't get the results I wanted, but I definitely learned that, you know what, it's now or never, and I'm not really gonna wait and rely and put all my eggs in one basket. So that's when I officially kind of set out on my own even more and even stronger. And there are just nights
So
when I
that
can't
that
sleep.
really did strengthen you.
I just, yeah, it was like, that was probably the best thing to hear, no. And because I'm like, you know what do you know? Even though you've done this for like a million years. Like,
Mhm.
so I decided that I was going to, if I couldn't sleep, I would Google, you know, agencies and modeling agencies. And before I got signed, all I did was just look for photographers to get me a portfolio so I could then try to get to an agency so then I could try and have great pictures and be signed to try and tell a record label, hey, I really am a serious artist. I'm signed with the modeling agency, you
Mhm.
know. So,
Which
anyway.
is a story for after the break,
Oh,
because that's
we'll talk about that.
this is a whole nother thing. Pardon me. And you, so there again, this man is doing a lot of things,
Well,
and you've got
time is of the essence, people. We're dying.
in all of this, you're seeking it out. You're your own manager. You're handling it all yourself. And that's a full-time job. Trust us, we understand and we appreciate. That's part of the big
It's
reasons why we
kind of
appreciate
fun.
you all.
Yeah,
And it's a ton of fun
it is.
because you get to do everything you love to do,
Yeah.
and you're using all of your talents, and you're putting yourself in the position that you want to be put in. We're going to take a break with Shawn Roscoe, listen to a couple of originals. We have, actually, as we were just talking about, Schizophrenic Jester, which he did share with us, where he was at with his life, and that this is anything else you want to share about that song before we talk about the next.
That song, I don't know, it's not self-explanatory. It's really confusing. You know what? We'll listen to it and then we'll talk about it.
And that's Tell Me Better Lies. Shawn Roscoe, Media, Rare, and Uncut. This show sponsored by Island Time Bar and Grill right here on Bradenton Beach, 111 Bridge Street. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll take a break, listen to these great songs, and be back with some more from Shawn. Thanks for listening.
I'm just a schizophrenic. 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 I'm just a schizophrenic.
Welcome back to AMI Radio, 1700 AM, Anna Maria Island Radio.com. You're listening to Media Rare and Uncut. Casey here is your host. Robert on the wheels of steel, as Michael would say. Shawn Roscoe as our guest. We want to thank you for being here. Man of many talents. I really like that about you. And you're very diversified. You're able to do so many things, self-taught, and you've had to, over the last 5 years, I would imagine, hone your skills so much just to get to where you are. And you're keeping yourself in that top shape too, where and that's really important in your career. I like to say people who are really driven, you're actually an athlete in what you do, and in this field you are an athlete, Shawn. You feel it?
I mean, I am your tired hooker. I'm exhausted. My eyes are tired. They tell a story of betrayal and sorrow. No, you do get fatigued. You don't realize it either. You don't catch. You've been doing one thing for like
It's a lot of energy,
all of a sudden,
actually.
1 hour turns into 6, and
Yeah.
you're just like, oh my gosh, I've missed everything.
It's amazing how much you can put into your talent.
Yeah.
And especially when you know that you can do anything that you want with it. And so then it's the bar is even raised because you can take this thing, whether it be your music, your comedy, your modeling, you can take it as far as you want. So you're a complete package guy. So part of that package is your newest CD release. So we
Yes.
want to go into that. This is Unzipped Loon,
The album.
2013, already released.
It is out. It is September 1st. That was my 5th release, and
So cool.
it was
Congratulations, your 5th.
my 5th. And you know what? We were talking about album release party. What I did to kind of celebrate was actually visited my grandparents and my dad and stepmom at my grandparents' house, which is like 3 hours away in Ocala. So that wasn't like, a planned thing, but I was like, this is how I'm going to spend the day with
Yeah.
this little monument to me. I don't know.
Well, you have to take every moment that you can to celebrate yourself. It's important to celebrate your accomplishments, and no matter how big or how small, and this is actually a big one. Okay, so this totals, give me a number of how many originals are out there of Shawn Roscoe.
How many songs wise?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So every album, I start off with 8, and then I make like 20 songs, and I just cut out songs. So maybe I want to say like 57 or
Wow.
60. I don't know.
24 years old, by the way.
Well, there's nothing else I would rather do.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
that's why.
So you're doing it right. So talk to us about your latest album.
Unzipped Loon. Well, one day, I go through song titles. My mom says I'm the most creative with song titles and lyrics, and she goes, you write song titles that I want to hear. I want to hear what's Unzipped Loon and VIP music and like Titus. And she says that Titus is her favorite song I've ever written, which is all wordless. And I thought, well, you don't like my voice? Crap, So this album, it just kind of started with the previous albums I've written, and there were songs that didn't make it to those albums, and these were the songs. And then some of these songs were on the previous albums, and I really amped them up and beefed them up because I thought, I didn't do them justice last time because I didn't have, like Star Wars, I didn't have the technology. And so now that I do, and now that I have the know-how and I want to say the passion and the individuality, I've kind of actually... I'm going to wordlessly express myself because words get in the way. As a comedian, I know that's true. So this album is every song on it starts. How do I say that? The dream of this album or the story of it. It starts right now, the beginning of nighttime, and then it ends in the morning. And I really like stories. One of my friends, Kathy, she says there's nothing. Oh, hi, Kathy. There's nothing people love more than just a good story.
Yeah.
Just to sit down with a coffee and just, oh wow,
Mm-hmm.
And so this record, without words, is telling a story, and I'm so proud of this album. One, because I'm kind of doing what I've started to do, which is wordless music, techno, and I'm kind of, what am I saying? I'm kind of graduating, letting myself become a electronica pop artist. And I don't want to be so much a pop star. I want to kind of be happy. And I feel like doing what I love will shine through and other people will benefit. And you know what? That kid, something about that kid. And, even though, I think I don't know, this album is probably, it's not my favorite, how I got to it, because it was so difficult, to realize, how to make a record, but it's definitely like one of my babies that I'm so proud of. That I loved emailing it to DJs and hearing them say, "Oh yeah, I used a clip, or I played it," and I'm just kind of like, "Oh, I wish I could have been there and hear it." But they're like in Canada, and I'm just like, "Oh, well, I'm in Florida. That's like really far." But yeah,
That's a huge accomplishment.
yeah,
So you actually had to go through this growing phase too,
yeah,
and so it was uh, that's quite a deal. But the greatest things that we do a lot of times come from that strong growth period, and so we say congratulations to you.
oh, thank
I'll give
you.
a applause because
Yay.
your fifth album, again, pardon me, this is Unzipped Loon, out as of September 1. You can buy Shawn Roscoe's music on
iTunes, Amazon. I don't know about
how
Spotify.
many
There's
are over 30?
37 or 38.
38 sites you can buy Shawn's
Yeah.
music on. So please go out and support local music. This is wonderful. And if they if they love techno, if they love anything like that, this is the music for them.
Yeah.
And anything really just to take you on a journey. I mean, like you said, you have to appreciate all genres.
Yeah.
And so,
Absolutely. I love Dolly Parton and her storytelling in her songs. It's like the sky is blue, or the sky is green and the grass is blue, whatever. I don't remember what song that song paints such a picture that it makes me want to sing country music.
Yeah. And there again, you're helping out. You're singing music in a variety of ways. You're helping out at your church. You're performing this music for yourself on a whole nother level. So you have a big appreciation for it. Anything else you want to share with the listeners about Unzipped Loon?
One of my good friends, he tells me that my music's great for working out because he gets aggressive when he works out, and he says that I liked your album A Warrior's Audition because we were in the same men's like workout group together, and it was called Warriors, and so I named the album Warrior, and I auditioned for the church and I got in, so I decided to name both.
Awesome.
And he just said, so I think what would be a good thing for people to understand about my music is it's definitely like it's chock full of like, I don't know, just creativity. Like my blood and energy of creativity is just poured into this album. So if you're looking for a drive and you just want to go somewhere in the car at nighttime, this album is perfect for like just that trance, that vision, that create that. Let's go back to where I first started and try to like figure out where am I gonna go now.
It's gonna take you on
It's
a
just
journey.
it's a great. I love Warrior. Because that song Warrior, the way I was so nervous about the synthesizer because I wrote it and I was just like, oh my gosh, this is my synthesizer, and it's like a baby, and then so when I finally did, I wanted to like really like let everyone hear that synthesizer full blast in the breakdown, so I like stripped everything away and I put it in the break. So I don't know, you really just have to listen to it and tell me what you think. I really want to know what you think.
And so everybody can tune in. You can network with Shawn. You can check him out on Facebook and follow him and listen to the music. Tell him what you think. You can listen to the music on SoundCloud.
There's
But the most important thing
SoundCloud.com/Shawn
is
Roscoe.
to buy your music. That's the most important.
So I need
we
money
want
for
people
food.
we want people to obviously enjoy. But as a musician, it's also about the revenue as well, and that's very important. Okay, so big, awesome, congratulations
Number
on this.
5.
Go out and purchase the Unzipped Loon album online. It's all over. There again, several places for you to find it. 37, 38 places.
Yeah.
This guy's all over. So we're gonna take a kind of a moment and go into the. You're also a model. So let's talk just a moment about this, because you're a signed model
in Miami Beach.
in Miami Beach. And this has been going on. How did this all kind of come about? When did you decide? Was that to build your brand, or?
Yeah. Well, when I saw comedians, I saw on TV, I was like, oh, I want to do that. And I heard singers, I was like, I want to do that. So I saw models and I was like, I don't want to do that. It looks terrible. And then I realized I needed awesome pictures to get attention for my music, to show what I'm doing. And so when I model as an artist. I model as like an artist on a photo shoot to promote the record because that's what I really do. How I got into modeling, I worked at this. I worked at a great job. It gave me a great opportunity to make money, but I worked in a cubicle. And, I'm definitely happy with the people that I met and I worked with there. They were the best people. I even do impressions of them. They're so great. And they're funny. Anyways, but how did it happen? One of my friends, Scarlett, she was just like, "Hey, Scarlett and Jewel," and Scarlett was like, "You should audition for American Eagle. They're having casting calls for American Eagle." I was like, "I'm not gonna audition for American Eagle. I'm not gonna be a model for them." And she's like, "You wear their clothes all the time. Why don't you?" I'm like, "Okay, this is a sales rack. Shut up." So I decided I would audition, and I got told no, and I thought, "You're gonna tell me no? What?" And so
Sure.
I then went to actually online, and one of my friends was Ariel. She was a sign model, and so she was like, there's certain websites you can go to become signed. And so I went, and I realized I needed some photos. So me and my friend Tom, hi Tom, we went on a real silly photo shoot, and I took those pictures and I sent them to photographers. I said, "I need help," and they said, "Yes, you do." And I got a modeling portfolio together, and I emailed from January. This is the very calendar from January, before January, all the way through January. All I did was email agencies and modeling and photographers and just schedule
Wow.
photo shoots. And then finally on a Sunday, DECO models. She called me and left a voicemail. It didn't even ring, and she's just like, "I'd love for you to come to Miami and have an interview. When can we schedule you?" And I was just like, "What? Oh my God!" And so my mom held my hand and took me in, and they were just like, "Yeah, we're going to look over your portfolio, and you make music. Oh, that's so fantastic!" And then we'll give you a call later. I'm like, "Thanks." Where are you from? Like Europea? I don't. Like, what part is that from?
But there again, you put out every piece of energy that you had to actually make that happen.
Yeah,
I
while
mean,
I'm
you
waiting
reached
to
out to
make
how
it,
many people,
But
and so that's what it takes to even get one. And that's why I love what our friend Hector Ferran said with the Village magazine. I was asking these guys on a show, do people get what they deserve, in the music career, there or in any career? And he says, yes, absolutely, because you get out of it what you put into it.
and
And if you're slacking, and if you're slacking and you make it, you're one of the few,
mm,
because most of these people out there are pounding the streets. They're exhausting themselves on these
every
tiny
week,
little
yeah.
computers and killing our eyes in order to make our dreams happen. And I say that lovingly because I love technology, but it takes so much looking at one screen to make all of this happen, and you're doing what it takes. So congratulations on that. We're going to talk about your stand-up comedy.
Oh,
And I want to, however,
okay.
I want to take a moment, and we're going to actually listen to another one of your original songs.
Oh, okay.
Physical Design.
Yes, this
And
song.
so this song has some depth for you.
It does.
Can you tell us a little bit about Physical Design?
I have some self-attractive worth issues, and I decided that I was going to talk about it. And he said, "Write what you know." So I thought, I have no idea what to talk. I don't know about love, so I'm not going to write about it. I know about curiosity and inspiration and passion, so I thought I'm going to write about that and Unzip Loon. And Physical Design's all about like the vanity of that. That's just the whole the opening line. Your perception of perfection is lost in your own reflection. Is just that line right there. That lick. I just feel like as a model, that was so true. It's just like I don't know. It's self-explanatory, really. But that song and those synthesizers I think it's like the best I've ever done digital wise, and like really cleaning up those synthesizers and those kicks and making sure that everything is precise, because I don't want to put something out there that isn't fully me, because there's other but I really enjoyed this one just because it reminded me of was it as a record. I can't remember. It was the Gimme More album Britney Spears did, and I remember loving that producer, and I really like invested learning about that producer. I'm like, who made her that does in this record? And I just thought, I want to do that sound. I want to do that because that's so serious, and I don't want to do a lot of secular music because it's so much out there. And I thought, this song has more soul. This song has more, raw. I don't know. This song has the meat past the
Awesome.
sex, and I just
Sure. Okay, so physical design. Which album is this on?
This is going to be on the album Physical Design, out 2014. I haven't decided when.
Awesome.
I've already, every step is planned.
You're planning it. That's the way ahead. That's good business. Shawn Roscoe, Media Rare and Uncut. Got to listen to this song coming up next.
Your perception of perfection is lost in your own reflection. All the vacancy will be your defeat. No one can compare to the famous name we share. Famous like my junkie addictions, your drama love. Make your way into the crowd. DJ's trapped us now. Want my caress, you best just to come and rest. We knew this day would come, I knew I'd be the one. Forget all your friends, they were just pretend. James Dean, I'll bust it open, cause they know my body's spoken. Say you see through me, claim I'm not that deep. If you open up your mind, hearts get intertwined. Like a boxer in the ring, my corner's where I sing. Make your way into the crowd, DJ's trapped us now. Want my caress, you best just to come and rest. We knew this day would come, I knew I'd be the one. Forget all your friends, they were just pretend.
You've been 6 years now as a stand-up comic, constantly improving from the time that your mother sent you to McCurdy's, to go to.
Shout out.
Shout out right there. And so from there to where you are now, and you actually have upcoming events.
I do. Well, the key to being a stand-up comedian, I believe, is setting yourself up for success, meaning remembering everything. Remember, like, I don't know, topics. There's so many amazing topics out there. And obviously, Miley Cyrus, Lindsay Lohan, okay, sure. But then it comes into, like, oh my gosh, like, I don't know where to begin. Where do you want to start? because it really is a little bit.
There's a lot.
My mom explains to me, allegedly, I don't know if my dad didn't want me to tell anyone, but he tried to stab at comedian. He was really funny. I remember growing up, he was the funniest, he still is, I think, the funniest person. And I like Dane Cook and Daniel Tosh. He's hilarious. And he just, I think he could be like Jeff Foxworthy. Even to this day, if he just decided, because he's so funny. I thought, how weird is it? How similar am I to my own dad that I ended up as a comedian? And not only I didn't stop, I kept going. But
So you've learned, you've honed your skills. Now, when you're out there, do you involve music in your act?
my mom and her everyone and their mother has told me to do that, and because I play the violin,
but
so
not yet.
I'm really close. I
Okay.
think I'm just getting bored.
We have
So
time. We have time. You know, you've got plenty of time to work on it.
Yeah.
Maybe in the next couple of years, you're going to start bringing out, because it's just like with your musical career, you're always going to be growing and
Yeah.
evolving and getting better.
There was a comedian on Comedy Central Presents, and he plays the violin, and he goes, you know how the concertos and symphonies, they never have it sounds like they're ending, but they never do, and it's like da 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 da, and people start to clap, da 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 da, and they stop, people start to clap, da 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 da, and then it goes right back into. I'm like, that's so true, because all the pieces I ever did. So if I ever did something, I would definitely do the violin, and I would love to do like a comedy bit like Bo Burnham or Stephen Lynch. Those guys, and plus that's what I enjoy anyway. So why
Sure.
not?
Yeah.
I do what I
encourage
love.
you to expand yourself, and it was something I was thinking about when we were talking about your CD release earlier. Was I'm interested in seeing, and I know you already have like the next 5 years of your life planned, or the year, but I'm interested in seeing what's next
Yeah.
for you, because you don't say no to a lot. As far as, if you find an interest in it, you go for it. You give it a try. You give it whatever you can, and say, and you take it as far as you want to take it. So, but I'm interested to see how your music career evolves. But now going into your comedy.
I got a job for like a TV show pilot to be like the comedian, and the guy interviewed me. He's like, "Oh, you act?" I'm like, "Not well." And he's like, "Oh, but you're a comedian. Do stand up. Tell me jokes." And so I did like 30 minutes of material, new material, old material. And then he goes, "Can you make fun of these 3 topics?" And he's like, "Can you make fun of gay people and how they have an accent versus lesbians don't have an accent?" I'm just like, wow, that is really a tender subject. And then he wanted me to make fun of like overeating in America. And I was just like, "Do you want me to do an impression of like me eating and eating too much?" But so no, I got a job as a
That's
TV,
awesome.
and then I told him, I go, "Well, I have a YouTube show, and I'm redoing it, and I want to make fun of celebrities because it's such an easy target." And he goes, "But you will probably become a celebrity, so you'll be making fun of yourself." I'm like, "That's the joke." But he's my favorite. He's funny, undeliberately. He's my favorite.
Anything you want to share with us? Put you on the spot.
If you'd like to see me perform stand-up live, I'm performing at McCurdy's Comedy Theater open mic night. It's going to be the 29th, and so be there at 6:30 because the doors close at 7. It's a 2-item minimum purchase, and my mom wants me to do impressions of what I do. I have there's characters in my head, and one of them's a British lady, and it's like, "Oh, Sean, I don't understand what you're really trying to do. I did tea and crumpets and scones, and no one can really understand me because I'm mumbling." And then I have my black friend Peaches, and she's like, "Oh my God, listen, okay, so you know what happened? He came over to my house with my Kool-Aid, and it's not racist because it's it's true. I'm dating her, that's why it's not racist. I have a black president." But no, if you want to see more of me, follow me on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Shawn Roscoe Vlog TV, and every week, whether I like it or not, I'm putting something out.
I appreciate that. There again, if you cannot get stale in what you're doing, let's talk it out.
And I don't talk about anything. Well, the new show is gonna once I reach my 100th episode, and I have my 100th episode special where I recap the past 100. I'm gonna have a brand new YouTube show. It's gonna be fantastic. I don't know what to call it. I don't know what to name the new show.
Once
Hollywood
again,
something.
the YouTube, you can find these YouTube videos on
youtube.com/Shawn Roscoe Vlog TV. Vlog, VLOG TV.
And you've created this whole thing on your own. You are solo in this,
I didn't know how to
talking
promote
about
myself.
music
Yeah, so I made a show.
and comedy, and you're just promoting everything that you do on here, and you're talking it out, and I love it.
That's
It's original. It's original. You've got it.
Shawn Roscoe.
You've definitely got style. You've got character, and you have a vision for where you're going. And not everybody has that vision that you have. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
I see myself signed, maybe working on my 5th debut album, and then I see myself beginning to work on my own record label and creating or investing in my own artists and touring them.
You're more of you have a ultimate goal of being more of a behind the scenes.
After I've had my run on the stage, I'd like to, because how unfair, I think it would be so fantastic to like run into someone on the street, like Ashton Kutcher, and then just be like, hey, I want to put you up. I would love to like discover people and take someone out of a bad situation, and I think that'd be like such a blessing to do, and what an honor it would be to be a part of someone's life and changing them for the better, and them, whoever they follows them, that'd be just fantastic to help out.
I used to feel that way when I would watch some different shows, and I really loved American Idol.
I'm not gonna have a TV show.
No, but I loved the fact that people were you can take somebody from an everyday life and grow and help build them, and they can really reach a really successful level. I think it's really cool what you want to do, and you have goals and plans for yourself and how you want to create this and the steps along the way, and then the give backs that come from it. So, I mean, you have a clear picture.
Yeah.
For
yourself.
yourself.
It'll be worth it. You're not going to get out of it for nothing.
Yeah, you're not here to do nothing. You're not here to sit around. You're here, we like to say, to do some good and have some fun. And it makes sense, and you're highly creative, and we think that that's pretty awesome about you. Okay, so McCurdy's on the 29th.
Yeah.
Anything else going on that you want to be sure and let listeners know about?
I'm going to be performing my music, original songs, live for the very first time. And I don't know the events that I'm going to be performing at, but I'm in the works, and I'm
follow you on Facebook.
Follow me on Facebook.
On
Official
Twitter,
Shawn Roscoe.
You're going to let everybody know what's
every
going
day,
on.
Even if you don't want to know, I'm telling you what I'm doing. I'm like, oh, the dog crapped in the house again.
And right now, your music is you're moving to be to actually be heard on Pandora.
It's on its way.
Yeah,
I'm on vinyl. I have like a techno's on vinyl. Did you think that would happen? Like, aren't the Bee Gees on vinyl? I'm on vinyl. I was Madonna on. Like, I'm on tape. I could be on tape if I wanted to. But no,
you're doing. I think that you're doing it right. Is there anything right now in your life that you see that you definitely are working on within yourself to make yourself better?
Yeah.
Everything, a lot of, I know we're our worst critics, but there's so many things. So, okay, let's focus more on with the music career, because that's kind of what we're focusing on tonight. With the music career, one of the things that you're really focusing on improving with yourself.
I'm really aiming at commercial style, because that's what I love. I love commercial and bringing everybody together. So how would I, personally wise, I think getting over myself, getting out of my own way, because when you take this 8 months to make or 9 months to make a baby, you take 8 months, I take 8 months to make a record, and that 9th month I just spend listening, and I spend the 10th month marketing it, figuring out how to market it. Every time I go back to market again, it's new and something new has happened. I think what I'm working on the most is kind of, I don't know how to explain it, but like accepting myself. And then, I know it sounds silly, because I'm 24, but keeping up with the times, like keep staying relevant.
You cannot fall behind. If you fall behind, look at how much more you got to do to catch up.
I Yeah,
I mean,
completely agree.
Robert, and of course, I do owe him his airtime here. He usually has something he likes to share, but you cannot fall behind on technology. If you're in that business, you have to stay up on it, even if you're taking a break. Really important.
Yeah.
And then one more though with comedy. What are you learning? What are you working on with yourself to hone your skills as far as your comedy career?
Have fun with it. If I'm not having fun, I'm not. You're not gonna like the show.
Are you a
Like,
person that laughs at your own jokes?
uh-huh. No. Okay. Okay. I will. I have to say it again or hear it again and again, and then I won't laugh. So that way, when I'm at the show, I'm not like, let me tell you about this soggy. I can't do that.
Some of the funniest ones that I've seen, they get to laughing and I can't help but just laugh. I
It's.
mean,
I
I love when
love
people get choked up by the things that they're saying.
when Saturday Night Live, there's the surfer skit where they're like, oh my God, no, dude, like. And they start to laugh behind the It's so funny because I'm just like,
And
it's
it's
real.
real.
It's real.
It's
Yeah.
real, and we appreciate that.
But
I wish you well in everything that you do, Sean.
thank you. Thank you for
I think
having
that
me.
you are a very bright person. You have it set up for you. Now you simply act it out and you keep doing the
We're
things
running.
and living your life completely conscious and aware of what you're creating.
Yeah.
And anything else major we need to know about throughout the rest of the year for
Throughout the
you?
rest of the year, I
Any major things or you want people to just know that you've got in the plans?
bet you I do. January 2nd is going to start the new season of my brand new YouTube show. It's going to be 20 episodes a season.
Awesome.
And talk about celebrities, fashion. We're talking about all the things that make you chuckle. And I'm even going to actually have like real models that I have worked with and am friends with on the show. They've agreed,
That's awesome.
they'll totally Skype in with me. So we're going to have some real opinions other than my goofy self.
That's awesome.
So and then that YouTube show, and then I'm going to be performing at a festival in New York City, and I don't know where in Philadelphia, and then it looks like I have an interview in Boston for
Great.
another modeling agency.
Great.
So I'll tell you all about it when you follow me on Twitter and
Keep on
Facebook.
going. And we'll love to have you back in here. To the listeners, anything else you want to just share with the listeners? Any message?
I don't know if you're listening as in like you're just on vacation. If you're on vacation, get off the road in the morning between the hours of 8 and 9, because I am on a mission to get to work. But if you're just hanging out and listening, or maybe you're just trying to get inspired, you know what I would do on Anna Maria Island is I like to ride the trolley. Whenever the life gets too tough or I can't be in this place anymore, I ride the trolley and I look at all the houses and I imagine living in a house like that, or I look at the beach and I look at the ocean and I look at the sunset or the sunrise. I would definitely just take a jaunt on the trolley.
Trolley. Yeah.
You can edit that out. But
Yeah.
I don't know. That's probably my.
You're absolutely right. And living this, being out here on Anna Maria Island causes you to be at peace. And
This is the best songwriting spot or idea I've ever had, ever spot.
That's awesome. And it's all kind of come full circle for you because
Yeah.
you grew up coming here.
Yeah.
Your grandparents were coming
yeah.
here or lived in the area.
As a baby, after
Wow.
the secondhand smoking, we jaunted onto the beach and made some sandcastles. Made some drippy sandcastles with a shovel. But no, I wrote Super Love. The first line of Super Love I wrote on the trolley. That was like in 2009, and then I finished the song in 2010.
That's
But
awesome.
that's where it began.
Well, we got to bring this hour to a close. As if there's nothing else that you need to get to say, we want to say thank you for being here.
Thanks.
Buy his music, guys. Check him out and come out to McCurdy's on the 29th and have a listen. It's going to be a really awesome time. Message him, follow him on Facebook, Twitter, all the social sites. Check out his show, Let's Talk It Out, on YouTube. Anything you want to find out about Shawn Roscoe, you can find out online. Just Google the guy. He's all over the place.
Not even a joke. I wanted to have a business card with just my name on it. And the back says Google it.
You don't need anything else. And of course, you can always listen to all of his music right here on AMI Radio. And we want to thank you all for tuning in tonight.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We love you being here. Media Rare and Uncut, Shawn Roscoe on AMI Radio, 1700 AM, Anna Maria Island Radio.com. This show sponsored tonight by Island Time Bar and Grill right here on beautiful Bridge Street with live music playing every night and daily drink specials. So come on down to Island Time and enjoy a great time. And with that being said, thank you so much to all of you listeners. And remember, any of the shows that you may have missed, you can always go to the Vault section of our website and listen to any previously aired shows. Or if you want to actually pick up information about specific show hosts and listen to those shows, you can simply go to the cast section of our site and click on the show host that you're interested in and actually listen to any of the shows. We want to thank you for being a part and participating. Any information you'd like to learn, if you'd like to learn more about us or get in contact with us, you can send an email to casey@antamariaislandradio.com. With that being said, we love you all. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.